Hey, what's up dudes? My name is Peroz. Welcome back to more tutorials and things. And today we're going to be talking about something very important, and it's your mum. Fuck! Today we're going to be talking about the fundamentals of editing COD.
I wonder if we could fill the gaps between the stars with everything left unsaid. It's gonna tear us apart. We stand through the night, bleeding sunlight. The past isn't open, the moon won't forget the promises we left. Was the silence that chose you to?
So there are a handful of things that make a Call of Duty montage what it is. And those things are the basics, like your sync, your pan and crop, your shake, and for me, your sound effects. There might be a couple more little extra things in there that really make the Call of Duty montage what it is, but these are the main things you need to really focus on. Now, a lot of people when they're starting out editing, they just slam out the boring stuff like the sync, the pan and crop, and the shake, that kind of stuff, and they jump straight into effects. And when they jump straight into effects without learning these fundamentals, the edit comes out not quite as good as it could be. A lot of people come to us editors and they ask, oh, what could we do better? And 90% of the time we say, focus on the fundamentals.
Alright boys, the fundamentals of editing Call of Duty. I haven't actually put any markers down on the sync points yet because I do think that is a important part as well. Finding the beats per minute is the best way to usually find where to put your markers. There are plugins and other things you can purchase to do this for you, but I personally don't really bother with that. I probably should because I have seen those and a lot of editors in the community do use those. So usually when I'm doing the markers myself, I'll just play the song and tap to the beat that I like or hear in my head. So yeah, I usually just go by beats per minute, like in my mind, like just you know you like tap your foot or like nod your head to music. That's kind of when I would put down a marker, and then I would go back through and double check them all and proofread my markers, if you will, adjust as needed. So yeah, I will do that now. So we're only going to be going from here on this song. This will be a little intro with a couple of cinematics, and then we'll have the drop here. So obviously I know the drop is right here, so I will put a marker like right there. Obviously I'll quickly show you my comp settings as well. So your composition should always be 1080p, 24 FPS, and whatever length of the song that you have. Pretty standard stuff. The song we're using today is Silent Planet Collider. Awesome band, old school kind of band. And the song is absolutely fantastic. I recommend you check them out. I'm just using this little chunk right here. So we'll play from back here so I can get a feel for the song, and we'll see how it goes. Maybe fast forward through this, maybe not. We'll see.
Tear us apart.
So you might have seen that I did leave a couple of gaps, bigger gaps, that was on purpose. For me, there was like a thing right here, I think. Yeah. So I need to move this one here. So it goes dunga dunga. You're gonna hear a lot of sound effects from me. So it goes and hits. So I like to change the colors of these to blue, the ones that tell me that I need to focus more on these markers here. Yeah, no, that's not bad at all. We'll go with that, and we will find some misty clips real quick. So this is a triple into a 6 on, but just for the tutorial, we might just use the triple for this, just for the big kind of drop here.
It's gonna tear us apart.
So label this yellow. Write CS for clip start. You don't need to get super pedantic with that stuff. I actually am one of the only editors that really gets into the color of the markers and writing shit on them. Somewhere around there. So we'll trim our clip to, you know, the only little part that we use in here. Bring it on in here. I guess this will be like a little bit of a sync tutorial. And because Misty records in 1440p and our comp is in 1080p, I'm just going to need to scale it back to 75 so it all fits nice and pretty. I guess this is, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a sync tutorial, isn't it? So the way I like to do things is I will find out where he shoots and go back one frame and chop it there and line that up with where I want the drop to be. And every shot marker for me is it is red. Now just drag this out to where I want the clip to finish. Maybe there, maybe we go to here. We'll see. So we'll drag these so they so they fit nicely. They fit all the way. We'll be slowing down and speeding up the part of the clip. So if you see it repeat like that, that's fine because we're about to change it. So I like to use Twixtor. You can use a whole lot of different syncing effects. I don't know why that took 10 years to load, but we're good. So he records in 120 FPS as well. These are just the Twixtor settings I use. You can find your own settings, otherwise you can just copy what I got here. I just have, you know, use GPU on the frame rate to whatever the clip is, so 120, and then I turn on contrast edge enhance on image prep, and I turn on motion weighted blend with inverse smart blend. That's just what I do. Some people have, you know, their own settings, and you know, that's fine. So we go back one frame and then hit the keyframe on 100, so that way when we change the speed in front of that, everything behind stays at 100. So if I was to not put that marker down here and start changing speeds here, it would change stuff behind it, leading to misaligned stuff up here basically. Just always put the 100 marker back there. And yeah, let's have a listen so I know what kind of speed I need to be doing. So we can go maybe 75 and we'll have it slow down here to like 50. And then on the shop, we'll do 300. So I have to cut this one fucking sandfly flying around me right now, man. We'll highlight all these keyframes, press F9 to ease them. Then we can go into the, whatchamacallit, the waveform here. Fuck off, you little bastard. And we can just change these to however we want them. So to put this simply, the higher the unit, so this is obviously 300 and this is 50 and this one is 75, so these are our keyframes. And the time scrubber scrubs along them this way, so this is at plane, so it'll go slower and then faster, and you can sort of choose what sort of wave that the scrubber goes across. So if I did it like this, it would look different. If I did it like that, it would look different. If I did it like this, it would look different. The standard for Call of Duty montages is just this. I think it's called like a fast fade. So it doesn't quite match up, but the effect that I'm going to do here maybe is have it like just fade to black, but this is fundamentals, so we're not really going to be doing any effects. So maybe we can just shorten this part here, just a touch, and then put that back there, and then just move all these keyframes along like this. And that might be a little bit better for us, because I want to see all these guys sort of lining up for this part. And we can slow it down even more. We can do 40. So the higher the FPS of the clip, the more you can slow it down before it starts lagging and stuff. So with our composition at 24 FPS and Misty's clip being 120 FPS, we can slow this clip down quite a bit before we start running into problems like that. But you also got to be careful that you, when you do start to slow it down a lot, you don't want like any warping at all, or any obvious frame blending, which shouldn't be a problem here. So yeah, that's lined up good enough for me. And we'll just extend this part out here because I think I want to show off the clip for a little bit longer. So we'll drag on our Twixtor again, and we'll just do the same settings, 120, contrast edge enhance, there we go. And we'll keyframe the speed, do our little 100 at the back, and then we'll do 300, we'll go down to like 20. And we'll create this sort of curve here. Something like that. So you don't want to do these curves for every single clip. All the clips are different, so it kind of just depends, right? You can even go down to like 10 if we wanted, I think, here. And then we'll have it speed up on the way out. Make sure that's lined up nicely. But this is the pretty generic waveform you want right here. And we will find some sound effects real quick. If you need sound effects, I got pretty much 90% of the Call of Duty sound effects in my Discord. At the top, you'll see editing downloads. Go check there if you are struggling for sound effects. So I'll just drag in some sound effects for this gun in particular. So I brought in just the hit, the headshot, and the bolt. So we can just bring on the hit in here. Open this bad boy up. And line her up with the shot. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's have a look. Or listen, if it lets me. Jesus. Yeah, so for a triple and a drop, it's not very satisfying sound effects. So we're going to add on some bass and treble. And a lot of editors add a shitload of bass. I go in the opposite direction. I add a shitload of treble. So you can really hear like the hit sound effects, like I feel like it highlights a lot of the hit sound effect and the bolt and the gunshot. So that's a lot nicer. And if we go right click, time, enable time remapping, we can pull this little guy out and stretch out the shot a little bit more. And just reline it up. So this will slow down the shot. So that's slowed down a little bit too much. And it might be a little bit too much treble, so I'm going to go 75 and 25. Like that. Go back to 100, we'll go 1. So it needs a bit of build up before the actual shot goes off. So I'm going to bring in like a whoosh or a bass sound or something along those lines. I'm a big fan of bass sounds on drops and things. I always use this one a lot. It would be if you watch any of my edits, I use this at least once in most of them. It doesn't match a lot of songs though. If you're doing, I don't know, some rap shit, this probably wouldn't fit that well. But in this song, it might be alright. So that's good. I think the build up is a little bit too loud though, so we're just gonna put this keyframe here at -4 and then we'll just go like -8 here. Maybe we'll go -10.
It's gonna tear us apart.
See, I like that. I don't know about you guys, but if we just preview this real quick.
It's gonna tear us apart. It's gonna tear us apart.
So I sort of want the slow to last a little bit longer to like here, and then I want it to start to speed up and go into the drop. But I also want everything to match still, so we move this keyframe over to the right a little bit. Just will look a little bit better. Yeah, let's see.
It's gonna tear us apart.
See, I think that was a lot better, but also I want more impact on the shot, so I guess underneath sync, when you're in fundamentals, impact is a big Call of Duty fundamental, right? So to get more impact, we can pull out this top one just a touch, or we could even speed this up more. But the problem with this clip is he gets stunned or something afterwards, and it looks really gross for a little bit there. So I'm not sure what to do about that exactly. Maybe we just deal with it for now. Or we could have the slow kick in faster. And then the speed one come in later. So that looks pretty all good. That's pulled all the way out, it's pulled all the way in. And maybe we'll crossfade for a simple transition. But let's have a look at this.
It's gonna tear us apart. It's gonna tear us apart.
So that has, I'm going to say that has moderate impact. It's not super great. Also, another quick tip for impacts is you want the transition to happen when he's pulling out on the bolt or pulling in. That's a very simple thing. This isn't perfect, but it'll do. It'll do. So we'll close this clip. And for me, closing down a clip like this means that it's like done. And we can just go into the next clip here. We'll go yellow. So the color markers are personal preference. And we will grab another clip from Misty. First, we'll listen to the song. Clip placement is also a fundamental, but I will be making a video on that on its own because it is definitely worthy of its own video. So I won't talk too much about clip placement here, but just basically clips are better in certain spots in songs, to put it very simply. So just listening to that, we need a clip with like 4 or 5 shots maybe. What do we got here? Gets one. Okay, hold on. Gets one there, one there, one there, one there, one there. Beautiful clip, beautiful clip. So we'll give this one a go, eh? So he does a little slide here. Looks like, so kind of want to add in that bolt. We'll see if this clip works better. Something like that. Drag this bad boy in. We'll adjust it. And then we'll add in a sound effect, which I also still think this marker here is a good spot for it. There we go. We add our bass and treble. That'll do. Let's see, yeah, so we shoot 5, 6 times. Let's see. So how many times does he shoot? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he shoots 5 times. So I think just because he shoots 5 times, it might fit a little bit better having 5 shots before it goes to like the spot of the song. And then we can do maybe some cool cinematic transition over here. So this clip isn't fitting that perfectly either, I don't think. So yeah, I can crossfade into like a really nice cinematic maybe, and then into the rest of the song. So I think this will do. So what I'll do is I'll just go through and I'll make these all red. Red, there we go. And then let's figure out where I want to transition on this clip, and we'll save our project. Fundamental of editing. Fucking save your project every like fucking 5 minutes. So I'll probably have a crossfade here, probably 10 frames into 10 frames, and then have it go through to the next clip. So now we'll find all the shots. So we shoot here, so we go 1 frame back and we chop that, and we'll just do the same for all of these other shots here. I'm also trying to use clips that you guys haven't seen yet. I actually haven't hit up Misty for any new clips for a while, so I'm just using the stockpile that he gave me recently. And a lot of people have wanted to see me sync Black Ops 7. So yeah, here we are. So now we'll just put these where they're supposed to be using the bracket, just like that. And so we'll crossfade somewhere around here. I'll just put a marker like here somewhere. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 will be perfect. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll probably crossfade in between here, and I'll just make this yellow. There we go. Save. Bada bing, bada boom. Alright, and then we'll just trim these like that. Extend or trim them so they fit. Bada bang, bada bang. Now obviously it'll look kind of funny because I've trimmed and done everything. It'll look kind of weird. But obviously that changes when we add on the old Twixter here. So I might actually fast forward through a lot of these clips and then just cut back into normal if I have something important to say. But this is pretty much rinse and repeat for the most part. So sometimes on these beat clips here, I won't have it go as fast, but I have like a sort of rule that I follow personally. It's either do it 300 or 150 in the middle, and then you can adjust later, and then 50 for slowdowns, and then you can adjust that later. That is not something you have to do. That's just a little rule that I follow. So now is when I can adjust to make sure it matches. So I want him to be ready to scope in like around here, so maybe I can put this on like 200. So 50 is a decent amount of slowdown. But if you want more impact, you can slow it down to like say like 40. And then you can bring this up to like 350. And bang. So this will probably have like quite a nice amount of impact on it. And we just rinse and repeat. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to line up when he bolts back with the beat here. Sometimes it will make the bolt look kind of funny. If you heard the bolt going like real fast, you know. That can look ugly sometimes, so we'll see what happens. Can always adjust later. So I want this to go down to 40 here, because we want as much impact as possible. Maybe we can even go, no, we'll go 40, keep it sort of smooth sailing. Alright, so let's see how this looks. I just realized my camera's been in the way of what I've been selecting. I was just selecting Twixter, it's fine. So let's see what this little chunk looks like. I don't expect it to be perfect. Maybe it is. There's one way to find out. Here we go. So, couple things that I noticed is I need this to slow down to, it needs to be like 20, like right here. But I do want it to get very, very slow here, because it's going to crossfade. Bring that. Make the slow happen a little bit faster, and we'll bring this just all the way to the end, even though the crossfade will be right here, so this will be where the clip technically ends, I suppose. So something to take, something kind of important to take into account as well, is the type of song. So you definitely want to try and match, you know, with the song. So if you got a really fast-paced song, you know, you probably shouldn't slow down anywhere under 50. You know, just hit like 75 or keep it at 100. Things like that. So this song is like mid kind of speed, kind of slow. You can get away with a bit of slow. So obviously right here I would add some sort of effect to sort of hide the crazy speed. Something like Templar would be a good one. Or I would just have some kind of flashing shit so you wouldn't see that as much. And one of the sync points isn't quite perfect. I think it's like the second or the third one. But that's fine. We can live with that. On the last shot too, I do like to sort of extend out the, not extend, but slow it down just a touch. So it sounds kind of good. We could add bolt sounds all in between as well, which is something hella nice to do. Maybe I can show you guys that as well. We'll see what this looks like though. So, because we stretched out this last shot, it does go a little bit quieter. It's just the nature of slowing things down. Something really cool is that he bolts out, and then on the next clip he bolts in, which is just like a really cool coincidence, I guess. Didn't do that on purpose, but it is really cool. So you see he bolts out and then back in. So that's kind of cool. You know, maybe if we were doing effects, we could do something cool with that. Sort of put a little bit of focus on that. Yeah, and some of these shots are quite fast, like that one's pretty fucking quick, but it's not the end of the world. You can, you know, for tutorial purposes, I won't be cleaning up too much stuff, but you can definitely clean that up a little bit, so it doesn't be so fast, because usually the rule of thumb is the less time spent in the scope, the better the edit, kind of thing, but, you know, 2 frames of him in the scope is not quite, you know, how it should look. But we'll add in some bolt sounds for a bit of funsies here. So I'll just close that and shit. And we will open this bolt sound that I just dragged in. And you'll see if I just solo it, it's probably going to be quite quiet. Yeah, it is pretty quiet. But you don't want the bolt sounds or any extra kind of sounds to be overpowering or too loud. You mostly want to focus on the gunshot sounds. Those should be the most prominent out of them all. So we could even add one in here for this kind of transition. So I do some pretty simple things here. I'll just time remap it and stretch it out. Something simple, you just line up the sounds kind of, so somewhere around here would probably be alright. Ching, ching. So go 2. So that sounds kind of alright, but we're going to add some treble to it. Yeah, it sounds good, and it should match with what's actually happening on screen. We can just duplicate this, bring it over, open the waveform here, and we will find where he bolts out, so somewhere right here, and he bolts in, so we'll just drag this in just a touch, just to there, and we'll see. So now it's too loud, so we'll go 1. So you usually want every bolt sound to sound slightly different. You don't want like the same shit over and over again, like people who use that ballistic fucking metal bolt sound. Stop overusing that fucking sound. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Insert leave Britney alone meme. You could even only do like half the bolt. Sounds pretty good sometimes. So for something fast like this, yeah, just even having half the bolt is fine. That's fine. Bring back more of that. So this one is pretty fast. You can also even like chop it in half, because you know there's two parts of the bolt sound, and like drag this one in. Maybe we could have this one extended out just a touch. Something like that. Turn this up to like 2. This one to 1. So for me, everyone's kind of different. I like to have my bolt sounds very, very, very subtle. Personal preference, you know. As long as it doesn't sound bad, it's not too loud, doesn't take over, you know, the whole edit. So that's a little bit too loud for me. Yeah, that's fine. Now we can just we'll duplicate this one down the bottom here, because it's already all put together. Open that bitch up. So this is the one that I slowed down quite a bit, so let's slow this down like a lot more, something like that. Bring it back 1 or 2 frames. And then we'll close all these bad boys. And we'll see what we got. So that almost is like too loud for me, but we'll carry on for tutorial purposes. Okay, now this tutorial is getting extremely long, so we'll just use these clips. My plan for this wasn't to, you know, have this be extremely long, but it's already been 46 minutes. Time flies when you're editing, so we'll jump on to some of the other fundamentals. I'm assuming I would have cut quite a bit of this video. If I have done, we just have the triple and then the 5 on clip here. So the next one I would say would be pan and crop, and there's a lot of different ways to do pan and crop. We'll just add an adjustment layer. Let's call this P/C. That's what I usually call it, and this is always a green layer for me. You know, personal preference for colors, like I said. So pan and crop is very, very important, and there are many different styles of pan and crop. And if you've watched my last like sync video where I did a little bit of pan and crop, that pan and crop is like the community standard, just going in on the shots and in on the beats. Sometimes you can go in and out on different beats. If you've watched any of my recent montages, I do have a little bit of a different style of pan and crop, but it's up to you and what you like. For this tutorial, I'll just show you the standard, but don't be nervous to experiment. You know, editing is all about you know, just experimenting with random shit and finding what you like and then developing your style from there. And whether people agree with you or not is, you know, it's very personal preference when it comes to a lot of things editing, because it's up to your creativity. So if we type transform, you can't see it, but oh wait, I got this. There you go. Transform right here under distort. It's just a it's not a plugin or anything, and you'll get a bunch of this googity guy. All right. So we want to play with the scale, maybe rotation, maybe position. So we'll start from here, and I'll add a keyframe. I always like to go 101, so that way I don't go out too much. We'll press U and open the keyframes, and here we have this build up part.
Gonna tear us apart.
So I would have this slowly zoom in to like maybe like 110. So from here to here, it'll zoom in a bunch, and then we'll go 12, and we'll have it go out to 105, and then decrease to 101 here. Something like that. That's what I would do. And then for a sniper clip like this, We'll just go, so we got 1 here at 10101, so default basically. And then we'll go 110 on the clip start. And we'll have it zoom out. We'll have it go in on this beat here. So this is the community standard. And we'll just have the add a keyframe on 110, go back to 101. And we'll just rinse and repeat. So this is very basic pan and crop, but it is good pan and crop. You know, there's nothing wrong with this at all. Nothing wrong with this at all. This isn't how I do things anymore. I've sort of been testing the waters a lot with lots of different styles of pan and crop to see what I like. And I do the exact opposite to what I'm doing here. So I go in on the beats, out on the shot. I just enjoy it a little bit more personally. So find out what you like. This might not be for you. Yeah. So also when you're doing this, you can change the position so it looks down more at the gun, or I don't know, a character on the side or what have you. But this is very standard pan and crop. So you can even have it, you know, go down to a 101 here, so it goes down like this, and then we can have it like zoom into that shot and go 105 like that, and then 101. So it will zoom in here instead and go bang. So there are a lot of small things you can do like that. So we'll see what we got pan and crop wise. It's very basic stuff, but it is a very important step.
Tear us apart.
So they don't all need to be the same value as well. Just see what works for you. But something like this is fine. You can easies if you want to and play with the curves. I generally don't really mess with that because I think it looks fine as is. So now we'll move on to shake. So I just copy this layer and I will delete transform and we'll just rename it to shake. And I usually put this underneath my my transform. So shake is a, yeah, all my homies hate S shake. Bit of a meme in the COD community. So S shake is Sapphire shake, Sapphire plugin. Join the Discord. Shake is a little bit different. It is just as important as pan and crop. You do have a bunch of presets. If you click load preset here, it'll take a second and it will load up this here, the preset browser, where you can flick through a bunch of presets. You can choose from any of these and then play with the adjustments. None of these will be perfect. You won't be able to click on one and just done. These will help you though if you're just looking for something quick and easy. We will cancel that for now, and I will do my best to show you what's going on over here. So we have the frequency and amplitude, which is the main ones you'll play with. So frequency is like how much or how often it shakes. So usually a standard for this will be like 2 or 3, and amplitude it'll be on like 1 or 1.5 depending on the other adjustments you make. So the other main things that you want to look at are the X, Y, and Z shake and tilt shake. So obviously X and Y, you know, up and down, left and right, and Z shake is in and out. You don't usually mess with the Z shake at all. You just leave that on 0. That's fine. So X shake will bring it left and right, as you can see. So that'll be whatever amount. So we'll just put that on like 50 maybe. Obviously you have the amp and the frequency in here as well, which is good to play with. The Y shake, so if we just change that to like 120 or something like that. And then we have tilt shake, which is probably the most important one in my opinion, because it will do rotation. Yeah, so we just put that on like 1, maybe we put it on like 5, and then we put the frequency like a little bit lower so it doesn't shake left and right too much. So that'll be our shake there. So it's a little bit all over the place. So maybe we put the Y shake down to like 30. Maybe we put the X shake down to like 40. So obviously you can see this is pretty, not the best. So put this down to 10 maybe, because we don't want to go on left and right too much. We just kind of want to up and down, kind of left and right shake. That's something we'll go for. So becoming a shaker god is not the easiest thing. The presets will definitely help you, but I would recommend just getting used to the tilt shake and the settings that are all here. So usually you only want the shake to be on the shot and the beat. So this is it's a mediocre shake. This is mid-tier shake. It's not that great, but not that bad. You will notice that you will get a black line going across here, which you can fix with motion tile, which is a built-in effect right down the bottom here of stylize. And we'll put that just above, and we can just go so output height, width and height here. So we'll just put down like 150 or 200, somewhere around there, and then we'll tick mirror edges, and that way you see it looks a lot cleaner than having that black line. Usually you will have black bars here though, so you don't run into that problem so much. Yeah, you can also put motion tile on your pan and crop layer or the top two. That can help sometimes. So what we are usually keyframing here to get the shake effect is the amplitude. So we'll keyframe here at 1000 on the shot. We'll go back 2 keyframes. Sometimes you go 2, sometimes you go 3, or just 1 even. It kind of depends on what you're making. So there'll be no shake here, and then just boom, a little bit of shake. And maybe we could do the same thing as pan and crop a little bit. So it's just a little bit of shake. So maybe we want the frequency to be on 3. There you go, that's not the worst shake in the world. So then we'll go back 2 frames, go forward. And maybe because it's just a transition to the next clip, we'll have like half the amount of like amplitude. And then we'll go back 2 frames from this marker, we'll go 0, forward, 2 frames, and then we'll change it to 1 or 1000. And we'll just have it go back to 0 like halfway through here. I will zoom in so you can see a little bit better. So it's this layer here that we're looking at here. And then we'll just rinse and repeat for the most part. So having the exact same shake across the same edit is not generally recommended. So if you just do this across the whole entire edit, like these exact values, just like how I'm doing it now, it will be blatantly obvious to any other editor that this is what you've done. And it's generally not the best look. So there is something in here called the seed. So you can change the seed. You can keyframe it between clips, just to change how the shake works a little bit. I'll show you that in a second. So sometimes having a bit of a build-up shake as well. So you see we've got this keyframe here, which is on 0, and if we just go sort of 5, 6 keyframes away, and then we put it on 1, it'll have like a bit of a build-up. And then we could drop it down to 0. So it has that little bit of build up to the max value, and then drops down nice and slowly. And then we'll just basically, I don't know, do the same thing over and over and over. It's yeah, like I said, it's not really recommended to do it like this, but this will work fine. So yeah, depending on the song, the style, you may want a rougher shake, or a smoother shake, or a, you know, less shakier shake. It all depends on what you're making. So something like this will be fine. So as well with the seed that I just talked about, so if you go back 1 frame from before the next clip starts, we can keyframe the seed, right? So this clip will be on just 0 seed, and we can go across and we can just change this to whatever number, maybe 0.050, and it will change how the shake looks just by a little bit. That way you don't have like the same shake. But this is pretty basic looking shake, not bad, not super great, but we'll see how it looks.
It's gonna tear us apart. It's gonna tear us.
So that's not bad at all, Maybe we can change the frequency up to 4. See what happens. Definitely experiment, I would say. Do a lot of experimenting, because, you know, that's what editing is about. It's about goofing around, figuring stuff out. Lots of people have multiple different layers of shake as well. Sometimes they will have a shake that is specifically for cinematics, a shake that is specifically for like build-up parts, and then just like your overall shake layer like I have here. Some people put shake directly on the clips, and they copy and paste and do whatever. So there are lots of different ways to go about this. This is just the standard. Now this was actually quite a big and very important video for me to make, so I hope you guys learned something, and I appreciate you guys watching so much, showing love on all the different types of videos that I upload. And yeah, we'll hopefully see you in a couple of weeks. Hopefully, I'll see you in a couple of weeks. No matter what, man, I'm making fucking tutorials on my ass this year. So join the Discord so you can fucking talk to me, talk to the boys, have a good time. Don't be afraid to jump in a call with me if you see me in there, and I will see you next week. Next week. 2 weeks. 2 weeks.